Next topic we are going to discuss is about timber. So first we are going to determine the structure of the timber. So the innermost and the toughest part of the structure is pith, and which is covered by a medullary sheath, and pith and medullary sheaths consist of cellular tissues, and later on which is covered by a hardwood, and which is covered by a sapwood, and which in turn covered by cambium, and finally the bark. So if I go over the terminologies, the outermost portion is bark, and before it is cambium, and this bark and cambium consists of fiber tissues. So fiber tissues are a bit soft when compared to cellular tissues, and inside the cambium it is covered with sapwood, and inside the sapwood it is hardwood or hardwood, and a pith which is surrounded by medullary sheath, and the innermost portion is known as pith. So now as we are talking about tissues, now we take which tissues is covered by which. Sapwood and hardwood consist of both fiber tissues and cellular tissues. So these two consist of cellular plus fiber tissues, and medullary sheath and pith consist of cellular tissues, and the sapwood and hardwood consist of some annular rings. Using these annular rings only we will measure the age of a timber. So this is an important question, try to remember. Annular rings determine the age of the timber by counting the number of annular rings. Okay. So next, prevention of timber decay. Prevention of timber decay is done by charring. Charring means burning charcoal at a high temperature up to 15 centimeters depth, and by quenching with water, then it becomes charring, and because of that there cannot be there won't be any decay of the timber. And again, if I burn tar and apply onto a seasoned wood, then it is called as tarring. And painting, by painting we will try to avoid the decay of timber and to protect the decay of timber from white ants. And by creosoting, it is some applying of some different kind of oils and heating them. So this creosoting helps you protection from white ants and as well as rots, dry rots. And finally, the Wallman salt gives you resistance against fire. Right? So depending upon the type of decay which we are going to be affected in future, we will try to use charring, tarring, or painting, or creosoting, or treatment with Wallman salt. And next, moving to defects of timber. A defect or a split which is coming from the pith to the external bark is known as split. So this split, if they are continuously present, then this defect in timber is known as heart shakers. And from the pith to bark, if some star-shaped defects are forming or cracks are forming, then it is known as star shaker. So names are very simple: heart shaker and star shaker. And cup shakers. Cup shakers will try to separate with the annual rings. So there will be some weakest bond at the annual rings. Along with the annual rings, that defect is known as cup shakers. And partial shakers have some irregular shapes, And the next defect is ringed walls. Whenever there is some swelling in the timber, then possibly ringed walls might be seen in a timber structure. And next, rupture. Because of the rupture of trees, because of crushing of trees, there can be rupture of the timber. And twisted fibers. Because of wind twists and all, there can be twist of fiber, and we can see some defect in timber structure. And wind cracks. Because of the heavy winds or because of the atmospheric shrinkage, because of the shrinkage due to outer edges, which is because of atmosphere, wind cracks are formed. And knots and dead trees are some of the defects of timber. And finally, seasoning. There are many methods of seasoning, but somehow what we need to achieve when we have done seasoning, we will try to maintain the moisture of timber between 7 to 12%, where we will have maximum strength of timber, and it will be far away from decaying process. So these are the very important points of timber. You can note it down.